Got my muddy water.
Good morning.
I don't have a mug near me. Oh my gosh.
Well,
I have a bottle of cocktail.
You can get the muddy water.
Muddy water.
Good morning.
Coffee. Good morning. Hope the coffee is fine today. Hope the coffee is
today.
epic, delicious,
Right.
nice, warm, soothing to the soul. Because, today's topic is, today's topic, I was actually,
You like some coffee, Godzilla?
yeah, Godzilla. Well, today I was looking up the highest search term of today, and one of the highest search term was whatever podcast. So I put that in the title to test it out. I'm like, why not? Then I'm like, what I want to do is I want to talk about a couple commanders that people say, man, you're an animal. Why do you build decks like that? Like my decks ain't super powerful, but they get super annoying. My Rafik deck, which I will talk about, is probably my most competitive deck in nature, which I found out I needed a Slippery Boggles for. Insane, but fun.
Talking about competitiveness, my arena decks are standard. I don't make them. Try not to make them too competitive. But yeah, they are competitive, but they're my own design, and my viewers say I got strong decks, but I myself don't see them as strong. I don't see the strength in them.
Varies which meta you're in.
True.
All right, let's say hi to some people in chat. Darc Raven, hello. We'll get the shilling to you in a little bit. Yeah, Saturday. Waffles has arrived. Party time. I actually checked out your channel. I forgot to hit the sub button, but playing fighting games is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And D. Lawson. I went to click on D. Lawson, but Hillbilly popped up right there. D. Lawson, what's up? Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon, D. Lawson. You, Sir Rock. Whoa. Man, so I realized that the title, the topic of today is probably going to be overrun by between me and MV over here.
Yep, that's me.
Because we both play Commander. But you can feel free to chime in. Because I'm looking through cards on the side during the time off because I'm trying to do something special for somebody later on, but can't talk about that.
Ooh.
But
secretive.
Yes, super secretive. Super secretive. But today's topic is called Whatever Podcast. My commanders make me an animal. And with that, we're going to define the topic. Woo! As Dawson's comment just stayed up there, because he's so special. So we're going to define the topic because MV, I know, uses a program that gives them the availability to use a crap ton of magic cards. Where I based off a collection, not digital. Found that out last week when he wrecked us with a deck that had a super high-powered opening.
Okay, I mean one of my channels like mottos or whatever is just I build decks online because I love building decks. I mean, I'm literally making a deck like right now. I literally have it in another screen.
Cool.
I just like building decks,
I know building decks is fine. Like it's a good skill to have. I mean, when you can whip up a deck like quickly together.
It's also a conversation starter too, because I tend to build shell decks. I tend to build decks that are just like if I do a deck tech I literally had a comment today that was just like, "Hey, I think you should add this card. I think you should add this card." And I'm like, if you want the deck list, I can give it to you. It's supposed to just be like if you want a quick build of this is a fairly strong version of it, and then want to
Right.
go from there, adding your own cards or adding cards that you're like, "Hey, I think this will be really good with it." Then you can just use them. And
Oh, yeah.
these decks aren't supposed to be like the bomb. They're not supposed to be like the best decks in the world, but
Mhm.
because they're not CDH level by any means. So just kind of taking them, being able to put in some of the cards that you really like, the cards that you want to put in them, and rolling with them.
Oh yeah, like when I build decks, I kind of have a shell myself. I call it the scope, which focuses on mana ramp, draw, removal, board wipes, then evasion. And I try to stick to that as a theme when I'm building decks, and I work around it if I can't fit a certain thing in my deck, like because different colors do different things. Yes.
Yeah, I tend to. So this is just kind of one of my things that I do. I don't tend to actually focus a lot on specific cards that you have to add. Like some decks don't really care as much about ramp. I mean, elves obviously they ramp themselves. You do want some amount of ramp, but things like board wipes in some decks almost you don't want to. You almost want to force your opponents to have them because if they play a board wipe, well, you're going to get screwed anyway. But some decks don't have specific board wipes tailored towards them. Like walls tend to have board wipes specifically for them that care about power and things. But if you don't have to add a board wipe, I would almost say don't just have those spot removals and do threat assessment because you need removal.
That is
Definitely.
correct. Like the scope I was talking about, I use it as a base and I bounce off it varying on different decks. For example, my Rafik deck has 2 points of removal and maybe 1 board wipe, maybe 2 board wipes. And that's because it focuses on the early game aggro. But the scope is the scope I designed, my building feature. I even have a video from a long time ago describing it. It's to learn how to basically build a commander deck. Then you want to learn from it and learn from how different decks work. Because the Rafik deck, which we'll get into, focuses on an early game swing to remove a player from the game by turn 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
Turn 5, pretty early.
Pretty
early.
Share the love. But so we'll get into describing a couple of our decks because what I want to do is because I know you got plenty of decks, but I know I told you to think of two decks that you can kind of break apart and talk about because people complain about those decks, or maybe you just have too much fun with a deck because you can be a party animal or you can be the animal that wrecks the day. I have 2 decks that kind of do that I'm going to highlight today. So that's how I want to define the topic. Is I want you to describe 2 decks, kind of tell them out. Think of kind of like a small deck that people can learn from, and to talk about some of your experiences on the way. That's kind of what we want to do.
Yeah, I definitely chose 2 that one of them I've only really played, I think, twice, just because of the fact of how polarizing the gameplay is and how people will be like, dude, that deck just completely warped the whole game. But it's really fun to sit there the whole entire time I'm popping off. And I mean, I literally can pop off turn 1 or 2. And then it literally goes down to either I kill myself or the opponents. It's one of the most fun trying to figure out what I can do when. And then the other deck I've played a lot, but yeah, people just don't like it because the fact that it genuinely does not do a lot for how much I do in a turn and then wins out of nowhere. I don't control when I win most of the time. I just happen to top deck a card and go, hey, look, I can win with this card. Then it's not, people don't like playing against it.
No, it makes sense. And with that, we're going to get to discuss the topic. Whoa! Before we get too heavy in this topic, I want to say hello, Cookie Dude.
Hello.
I know you brought all the handsome today.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I did. I tried. You know, it's Saturday, so I'm taking a little break.
Well, I'm glad you're not wearing your Saturday outfit.
I know. Yes,
For those who don't know, it's the same one as his birthday outfit.
that's right.
The birthday suit and tie. Oh.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, Hillbilly. How are you?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Today I want to make some shorts.
Mhm.
Some
Ooh.
Wilds of Eldraine.
Ooh,
Draft
spicy.
boosters.
Spicy.
Thanks
I
to
just
Miss
went
Hillbilly. Yeah, thanks to Miss Hillbilly, she got me this box of draft booster packs.
Nice.
I just
That's
went to
pretty
a
awesome.
sealed event yesterday on Wilds of Eldraine. I went 1 and 2, but I still had fun.
Hell yeah.
Like
That's all that matters. You had fun.
Oh yeah, 6 people left left the whole entire thing because they either had other things to do or one of them genuinely was just like, I'm not having fun, I'm leaving. That was my second round opponent, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
Mhm. Well, and I want to mention or bring light to this that Darc Raven says she uses send triplets for her commander, which is very fitting because you really have to have a dark soul to play a card like that in
Yeah.
commander. And she's like, I mix it with Xander for spice. So, I want to start with MV Magic,
Yep, that's me.
right? And now I want you to describe one of your 2 decks. Then after you do that and we'll talk about it as you go through because we might have questions. Then after that, I want to go into my deck and one of my decks and talk about one of my decks and spit back and forth till we get through 4 decks. But really quick, I want to really want to chill out Karn's Artopia. And in order to do that, I want to pop this open. I want to go here, go share screen, window, blap. I want to shout out Karn's Artopia, where you can get sweet dice bags, sweet dice boxes, sweet little dice pets, dice dragons, ornaments. You can get some customized jewelry. Anything that she makes can be customized with a logo or a phrase. It's fitted or made to your specifications. It is awesome, high quality, good old-fashioned art, and it's worth the dollar bill. Go check it out at karnsartopia.com.
Yeah.
Bought a dice bag from her and actually got to use it yesterday, and man, it holds dice.
Oh yeah, like
Nice.
when I first got my dice bag and I saw this pull string, I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna do. There's like over 2 pounds of dice bag in here. That I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do what the professor does with the dex boxes. And I'm like, I'm gonna shake that thing, and the dice stay in there.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you for dropping that link, Dark. And Dawson's like, I'm terrible at Commander. That's fine. It's fine. All right. So, MV.
Yep.
I'm terrible at standard.
Mhm. So, what's a commander deck that makes you an animal?
So let's first start out with the one that I've only played like twice, and that's
Mhm.
because it either comes down to whether I kill myself or my opponents, and it's Crick, Son of Yawgmoth.
Ooh.
I know a lot of people would be like, "Oh, that's like a CDH commander. That's not fair. You could just cheat things out really soon." So the whole point of this, the point of the deck, is to like very very early, hopefully come out with a combo like turn 1 or 2 that where I get Crick out and be able to swap life totals with everybody and
Right.
just keep doing that over and over again against different opponents to where we're all down to like 3 or 4 life.
Right.
And then after that, I have like no gas. So like, I've always lost with this deck. I almost will always lose with this deck. But
Mhm.
I mean, it does have a lot of those, like a lot of tutors, fast mana, all that. But basically just with a card called Blood Celebrant, because
Yeah.
you could pay a black and 1 life and add 1 mana of any color to your pool. With Crick out, being able to pay 2 life for that black, I can basically
Right.
pay 3 life and gain a mana. So if I have at least that card out, I can just turbo ramp everything I want out and just hope and pray that it's enough to win.
Right.
Yeah. And then maybe hopefully get like a Platinum Angel out or something so that I don't lose. But it's such a dumb little weird deck that just revolves around swapping people's life totals, getting them down as low as possible, and then everybody going, "Dude, are you done?" And I go, "You know what? I may be at 2 life and I have nothing on board, but I passed the turn." Then they go,
Nice.
"Okay, I kill you." And I go, yep, that's exactly as expected.
You know, and one thing I love about decks like that is I love playing the high risk, high reward, you know, but with also the risk of failing. That's always exciting. Like, for some stupid reason, it's like, oh, if I do it and it comes out correctly, it's going to win big.
If I do
But
the
if-
thing and I do it right and I don't mess it up, it
Right?
works. It just works.
Right. And usually, like, decks like that are like, we're going to win huge. You know, but if you don't win huge, you're gonna fail epically, and you're like, "Well, I tried, and that was the fun part."
Yeah, this deck is so like if I went back and changed this, I would change so much stuff about it. One, make it not that deck, but just having it as this and the amount of stuff that swaps people's life totals is insane.
Right.
You have so many different cards that you can just pay some mana, swap 2 people's life totals, or there is one card that's kind of the magnum opus. Where is it? It's like all people's life totals become the lowest life total among players or something.
Rich Dubs, hello. Yeah.
Let me find
So
this.
this deck runs black in it, right?
It's mono black. Yeah.
Right. You know, with the life swapping, sometimes it counts as loss of life. I think Boon Reflection would be perfect for this style deck.
Boon Reflection. Ooh, let me look at that. The card's called Repay in Kind. Each player's life total becomes the lowest life total among all players.
Yep.
If I can get that out, because all I'd really need to do is, I need to swamp, Dark Celebrant, Mana Crypt, hopefully Jeweled Lotus or Mana Vault, something into playing Crick. I can then play that for how much life? 5 times 3 is 15, and then so for 19 mana, 19 life, I basically make everybody's life total like 20.
Right. I might be wrong on the name of the card. It's a reflection card, but the Boon one is a white one. Let me look it up. There you go. It's called Wound Reflection, not Boon Reflection. There you go.
Wound Reflection.
Yes. So it's a card that, well, let me share it on screen really quick.
Oh, yeah.
So for the loss of life cards, this will combo off pretty well. Where it says at the beginning of each end step, if opponent loses life equal to each opponent loses life equal to the life they lost this turn. So sometimes those life swappings or life droppers that do big damage will double up with this. It's amazing.
That'd be really cool. That'd be really cool too, because like I said, with that combo that I just said, if you get Crick out and then Blood Celebrant with it, I believe it would be you'd play Crick and then play Blood Celebrant, play the Repay in Kind, and then you play the Wound Reflection and then play the Repay in Kind. So then everybody's life total is at, Lord, this is why I love this, because it's calculator level of like how much am I doing?
Right. You like have to type in all the math and figure it out. You're like,
Plus-
this is how the stack works, people.
Plus, it's an enchantment, so it's going to stick around unless there's some
Yeah,
enchantment.
enchantments stick around longer than most, even though Wizards is pushing enchantment removal in more colors than they should be in.
Yep. Got it in green right now. With Canker Bloom.
Mm-hmm. Green gets all the fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there
Oh,
anything
gosh,
else
the
about
math
this
is
deck is there anything else in this deck that makes it pop? Is there like a card you'd highlight?
Highlight card. I mean, Villas, Broker of Blood is an absolute insane card in this. Being able to, whenever you lose life, draw that many cards. You're
Mhm.
losing life anyways. So every single time you pay 2 or 3 mana for a black pip, you're you're drawing that many cards. So you can draw your whole entire deck. But it's oh my gosh, there's one combo in this. You can it's with one of the sack outlets. There's another. No, it's not that. Mischievous Poltergeist. I swear there's a combo with that in here. I know I added it. There's no other reason why I would have it in there. Mischievous Poltergeist is a 3-mana 1/1 flyer. You could pay 1 life and regenerate it. Oh, that's right. So with the swapping of life totals, you can, as long as you have Platinum Angel out, if you swap the player's life total and in response pay your whole life total to swap it, the opponent dies.
Nice.
Ooh.
So it's such a weird, janky combo that, you know what? People are going to be expecting themselves to either die on turn 1 or have one of your opponents die on turn 1. So it basically becomes a 3-player game or okay, let's play another game. And people will be like, this wasn't fun. I'll be like, I had fun. And then there's that one player to be like, well, I had fun watching it go off.
Turn 1. Like, how do you get that combo out turn 1?
So it's so what you need is you need rocks, like you need the mana rocks. Let's say you swamp into Mana Vault, Mana Crypt. Okay,
Right.
you have enough, so you pay the 6 life to play out Crick, so you can pay 2 life instead of black. Then you
Right.
pay 2 life to play out the Blood Celebrant.
Uh-huh.
And then with that, so you're now all the way up to 8 life lost.
Uh-huh.
If let's say you play the Boon Reflection, that would cost you 12. Hold on, it costs you 12, 14. It cost you 14 life. So you're at 22.
Uh-huh.
Well, you're 22 life lost. You play Repay in Kind, which will then cost you 3 per that. So 15. 16, 17, 18, 19. All right, so you've lost you've lost 41 life.
Oh, wow.
So you might not be able to do that. You'd have to find another way to gain some amount of light there. Let's say you play a Jet Medallion. Probably it would subtract 4, but it would, okay, no, that wouldn't work. Like, see, this is such like a whack. Let's say you play Demon's Horn. Okay, you're able to play this Blood Celebrant, pay 6 life, play Demon's Horn, but even that wouldn't work because you're just gaining 2 more life back for how much for losing 4 life. So you're probably gonna end up popping off on turn 2 instead, because Crick will be able to swing in, gaining you 2.
Mhm.
So being able to just gain that 2 life alone would be able to make it so that you can repay in kind, make everybody's life total be 1.
All right. Hold on a second. Hey, Dad, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just listening. I mean,
You look
there's
like
not
you're
much
trying
I can contribute to this conversation, but
right. Well, you look like you're about to fall asleep. That's what I was asking.
yeah, I'm just waiting for my machine to finish up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
All right. So make
I'm
sure you're
okay
doing
though.
good. All right.
Thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm okay.
All right. No problem. No problem. I just want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Well, that sounds like a ruthless big early game deck, though. Even though you might not get all the combos off turn 1, but it looks like a turn 2, turn 3 possibility.
There's a possibility, but it's also assuming you have the exact correct cards. Nobody has any sort of removal or anything. Because the moment somebody removes anything, it's all over. Like if they remove Crick, it's done. Like you're done.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're just hoping and praying they don't have a turn 1 like swords or something.
Right, because early game commander, or early game removal is hard. Like, not everybody's going to have a force of will in their opening hand.
Oh yeah.
Or Pact of Negation, or not, or the other one. Well, I don't know why you want to play Pact of Negation turn 1, but
there's Force of Negation, Pact of Negation, Force of Will.
Yeah.
But was it the Pact of I believe no, it's Force of Negation can only counter non-creature spells. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they hit the repay in kind with that, I mean, you just spent 19 life to pay it, and they said no. So,
right.
Ouch.
Right. So, but like, that's a very hard guarantee. That's how my Rafik deck works. Not the counter spell, but, relying on the good morning, TCG dude. Hello. Coaches. Hello. That does sound awful to play against. I can't imagine my opponents really appreciating that. Nope.
Okay, I found an even better one. With Exquisite Blood and Sanguine Bond, you can get that out for 35 life. So as long as you play anything else that causes your opponent either to lose life or you to gain life, you win. So
that's the classic right there.
Maybe if you play Prism Ring and are able to do that, you choose black, so then that casts the spell. Oh my gosh, math is hard. That's why math is for
hard.
players.
All right. Well, let's get to a easier deck to talk about, but really quick. How you doing, Hillbilly?
Doing pretty good. All this talk is sounding interesting. Very interesting.
Oh, Envy Magic with his competitive nature there, wanting to destroy the world by turn 1,
See, I tend to people don't understand. I really like to play solitaire based decks. So I tend to just sit there and like the other deck I'm going to talk about is also kind of solitary, but I'll sit there and just play, Rakdos Lord of Riots, Magnus the Red. That's just all about I'm going to sit here and do my own thing until I get enough stuff out to just kill you. And if somebody decides to remove something, oh well, hope I can recover.
Mm-hmm. The first deck I'm going to talk about is a deck that no one says is really good. No one says is really good. Like I play against it, and they're like, that deck's annoying. But people look at the commander, like, that's not really a playable commander anymore. But I'm like, bullshit. It is very playable. It's Thraxamundar. Oh, yeah. So Thraxamundar is an annoying commander. Like people think, since he works on getting +1 counters on him, right? When the opponent sacrifices a creature or whatever they're sacrificed in general, people think that you're going to wait till he's out in play to start doing that. But the way this deck is built, it doesn't care what time it is. He just cares that the board is thin, so he can get through and start building up, right? Like, for instance, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points of each opponent sacrifices a creature. And some 3 of those cards are each player sacrifices a creature. So that's on top of cards just thinning out the board. Couple highlights from this is Gix's Command is a modal card, really solid. I know you can't really read the card, but it's a pretty cool card. You get to choose 2 out of 4 modes. But what I want to highlight here, other than there is a Liliana Vess. Liliana Vess.
It's my girl.
Because she sacrifices, right? But what I want to highlight here is I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures that make each opponent sacrifice a creature, or each player, doing either or. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this deck runs not the meatiest, but a pretty solid package of reanimation. Like you got reanimate, you got animate dead, you got rise from the dead. There's another animation spell I need to get in here, but like a smaller drop. But I have like 5 points reanimation on top of a couple creatures that reanimate creatures, right? And that's
No,
exactly what.
Not only that, I just seen a shoulder in your hand too. There makes
Yeah.
your opponent sacrifice. It's another reanimate.
Right. And so that's one of the creatures I was talking about, actually. And I have I run for classic flavorness, I run Thraxamunder in the deck. I run Liliana Death's Majesty. And Grave Sovereign, because this is actually a zombie deck with zombie lords. It's kind of hard to see. But you tap 5 and tap zombies to control, you get a reanimated creature at any instant speed. And then it's any creature from a graveyard. But usually I like to target my own graveyard, right?
What's that card called?
It's called Grave Spawn Sovereign.
I want to see if there's an infinite with that. I bet you there is.
There's close to it, but I don't think there's an infinite, because you have to sacrifice 5 zombies to tap 5 zombies to control the return target creature. Like in a white deck, Darc Raven, SFT, you're evil. In a Orzhov deck, there or an Esper deck, there would be an actual kind of infinite combo. There's a 3-drop creature, something knight, can't remember what it does, but when an artifact enters the battlefield, you untap a creature. There's a blue spell that costs 1 blue. This is whenever our creature enters the battlefield, you untap target creature, and basically you can bounce this artifact to untap a creature, and if you can do that 5 times and clone 5 times, you can have an infinite creature. That's
nice.
That's good, but that's not this deck. And I don't have.
You get the battle in there too.
So, well, no, I don't run battles.
There is a battle that makes 2 zombie tokens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, battles are good. They're just enchantments with extra steps, and I'd rather not worry about the extra steps for most cases. Same reasons why I don't run sagas very much. Like, unless the saga says remove target creature from the game or destroy target creature or something immediately for the first ability, I'm not going to run it.
I think that battle does -13, -13.
Mm-hmm. Like, it has to be good.
But flash.
What's up?
And it has flash.
Yeah, flash will make that good. So the power level of this deck is like, imagine like a upgraded precon to a super upgrade, but the preconness is still there. So, it runs like a precon, but there's some power behind it. It's not the most amazing power behind it, because I talked about saying there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spells that make people sacrifice creatures. I also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of removal, like just straight up creature removal, right? So that's important to this topic, because that shows you how aggressive this deck is with thinning the board. That gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points of board thinning removal.
Whoa.
Yeah. And most of that sacrifice. And on top of that, because thanks to a friend who used to play Magic and got out of Magic, I got the sacrifice W.
Whoa.
You're right. So, and that's crazy how it works. Like, just because I had I normally don't have cards like this to be like pull and put in a deck, but I had a deck that tore apart. You get to run powerhouse cards like Sensei's Divine Top. I actually run Jace the Mind Sculptor to add some draw and removal to the deck. But you know, you got to run your gratuitous blood gift demon, right? In here, there's a Phyrexian Arena, but I want to highlight a card that I don't think gets enough attention for slow decks is Monastery Siege, where you choose the Khan's ability, you get a loot at the beginning of your turn. And one card I don't think sees enough play, but it's hard to play because the reason why I want to mention this is because the average CMC in this deck is 3. So most of the cards in this deck cost 3 converted mana cost or 3 mana value. So you're safe to run Dark Tutelage. Dark Tutelage is like a Dark Confident, but 3 mana enchantment.
I actually pulled a Dark Tutelage yesterday whenever I was playing the sealed event and accidentally killed myself with it. I was about to bargain it off and I was like, okay, I just need to not hit anything that costs 4 or more. And I flipped into a 5. And cried.
Right? Flip into a 5. That's awesome. Dark Tutelage, like this is like it's not one of those cards that run in any deck. Because you know, having a Bob effect that can't die easily is really tough to manage if you're low in life. You know, and no one's going to try to destroy it if it's killing you fast. So that's why I care about the converted mana cost. But this is a basic zombie deck just in general. Like everything I just showed you is like the meat and bones of the deck for like the synergy. But this deck is packed full of zombie lords and zombies. You know, so that's what makes this good. And thanks to the help of some people, it's gotten better. Like, I don't have it in here, but I was going to show off a one-sided board wipe because one of my favorite board wipes that I love to play, which is one-sided, meaning it only targets one player, basically a board wipe, is Overwhelming Forces. It's a huge 8 mana spell that destroys all creatures target players control, and you draw cards equal to the creature's loss that way. But I run Wake in this deck for counter control, but you know, your lords like Death Baron, Tomb's Tyrant. There's even a Chromatic Lantern in here, which I'm kind of weary about. Lord of the Undead. One card that I know is in Magic's Playhouse that he probably has a broken combo too, because there is broken combos, is Deathbringer Thoctor.
Deathbringer Thoctor? I bet you I can think of many.
You're right. Well, this has combos. There's no infinite combo or anything like this, but this card has combos. It's a 6 mana 3/3 zombie beast who has a red and black in its mana cost. Whenever another creature dies, you put a +1 counter on Deathbringer Thoctor. Remove a +1/+1 counter. Yeah, you remove a +1/+1 counter from Deathbringer Thoctor. You deal 1 damage to target creature or player. So you have one of those, because I know there's a sacrifice loop in the game of Magic, and you can instantly sacrifice 2 creatures. You can infinitely build him up and instantly bolt people.
That whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control?
Uh-huh.
So all you need with that loop is you need at least 1 zombie, grave crawler, and a Phyrexian altar. That's the main way to very cheaply have infinite creature ETBs. So then it's
right.
Yeah, you sacrifice the grave crawler to create a black, and then grave crawler then costs the 1 black to then replay. You could keep sacking it over and over again. You just nuke the table.
Right. What we calling Tort evil for his playstyle? Because I attest to it. She's prime. You calling me evil. But one card I don't think sees enough play, I think is underrated. But I love blue. Blue player unite. Blue's amazing. Hold on. Bloop. Sorry. Is Aether Spouts is a good trick card.
Heck yeah. Dude, I love that card.
Card is nuts. No one really expects it for 5 mana. You know, people usually expect a counter spell. Aether Spouts, for those who are just listening, costs 3 generic and a blue is an instant. This is for each attacking creature its owner puts on top or bottom of his or her library.
Really good against elves. Like,
yes,
really, really good.
and do you remember the Decayed Zombie deck that came out during one of the last
yeah.
Overcrowd sets?
Oh my gosh, it was not. I don't think it was Midnight Hunt. Oh, was it?
I think it was the previous block before it.
Oh, because I thought Decayed came out in Midnight Hunt.
Crimson Vow?
Crimson Vow was right after. Yeah.
I can actually Google this really quick.
Really quick.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wish I remember the name of the deck, but I'm going to type in Decayed Zombie deck. Wilhelt came from MIC, Midnight Hunt or something.
MIC?
Yeah, that's the MIC and let's go a different route. One more time. Let's go to scryfall.com.
Is it a pre-con?
Yeah, it's a pre-con.
Decayed.
It's Wilhelt, the Rock Cleaver deck.
Yeah,
It's Midnight Hunt
it came out
Commander.
in Midnight Hunt.
All right. There we go. Anyways, the reason I draw attention to that deck is one, it has a lot of good cards. Cat on top of the record player. But not only was it a good deck, like for parts, like the deck was great for parts. And the card's probably not worth a lot of money right now, but it came with Rooftop Storm, where you can pay 0 for rather than the converted mana cost to zombies. Even though it does not negate the commander tax of Thraxamunder, but he still costs 0 on top of the commander tax. So it's really powerful.
Really?
Yeah. And really quick before we get to the next deck of MV Magic, I want to shout out cardsartopia.com for sweet Magic the Gathering swag, dice bags, dice boxes, dice pets. Yeah, I call them pets, all right? They're little dragons that hold your D20. They're really awesome, and they're really cool. She also sells Magic the Gathering ornaments, and she makes custom jewelry. Everything she makes can be customized. Like if you want something like a dice bag, dice box, or an ornament or anything, she can customize it for you. If it's something embroidered, she can do it for you. So check out cardsartopia.com.
Check her out.
Check her out. Link is in the chat. Thank you, Darc. She really likes it when I show her out.
You will not be disappointed.
No, you won't.
That's
Agreed.
for sure.
So what
I've had multiple people even comment and be like, I really like your dice bag. And I'm like, I know, it looks really cool.
Yeah, I saw your picture. You got the Liliana one?
Yeah. Looks so cool. That gold on it is so like I genuinely wasn't expecting it to be like an actual gold coloring, but it was gold.
Hell yeah. It's because Darc really puts quality into her work.
Very high quality.
Yeah. So going on, what is the second deck you had in mind to share with us?
This is I nicknamed so the other deck, the Crick deck, I nickname all of my decks some dumb name, whatever. Like my Cranko deck is Cranko likes Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. I just figured he would. So the Crick deck was called Crick Daddy because why not? It just revolves around him. But then this one is actually a joke because one of my buddies, I said, hey, I'm actually building Jan Jansen right now, Chaos Crafter. And he just went, oh, it's John Johnson. And I was like, dude, that is a perfect name for it. So every time you say it, you can't just say, oh, it's John Johnson. No, it's John Johnson. So Jan Jansen Chaos Crafter is Mardu, just cost Mardu. It's a 3/3 haste. You can tap it and sacrifice an artifact creature to create 2 treasure tokens, or you can tap and sacrifice a non-creature artifact to create 2 1/1 construct artifact creature tokens. So the whole point of this deck is by like turn 3 at least, you want to play him and then just immediately start sacrificing everything. So the whole deck, I have to explain to people before I play the deck, I will look like I'm doing a lot on my turn, but if you actually look at what I did, I maybe created like a 1/1 and 2 treasures. That's about all I did. So it's still very solitary, but at the same time, people look and be like, he's definitely not the threat. I mean, he's ramping a bit, but he's not doing anything. So it does technically have 1 infinite in it. I believe just 1. Yeah, it has 1 infinite in it, but that's just because Clock of Omens is absolutely broken.
Clock of Omens.
Paired with Clock of Omens and either, what is it? The card, so it's Liquid Metal Torque or Liquid Metal Coating, turning Jan Jansen into an artifact.
Coding.
You can tap, sacrifice one of the artifacts to create 2 more. You tap it with Clock of Omens to untap Jan Jansen, to then tap him and sacrifice one of those to then it goes infinite. You get infinite 1/1s and infinite treasures. So you either do that and win the game, or it's got some the other ways to do it. Like the main way I win is Revel in Riches, being able to have at least 10 or more treasures, winning the game. That one's usually how I win with it. But you've also got, if you get that infinite going, using cards like Impact Tremors or Ingenious Artillerist, or something that either involves creatures entering or exiting the battlefield, you can deal infinite damage. It's got some absolute wacky stuff in here. I mean, it just plays cards like Wormcoil Engine, literally just because it's Wormcoil Engine. I freaking love that card. But it's just a really wacky, try to do as much as possible on your turn for not a lot, but in reality, you actually are secretly kind of winning the game. I actually won a game with Revel in Riches out and had enough mana to play a Teferi's Protection because they were able to remove the Revel in Riches. So I then what's it called? Freaking phased out all of my stuff until I had to turn, and then it enters the beginning of my turn. Then the Revel in Riches trigger happens. You win the game. It's such a weird, like, I would love to play this deck more. It's just people really do not like me playing it because of how out of nowhere it just wins the game. And people go, dude, you said you would do nothing for like the whole game. I'm like, I kind of did. And then I top decked a Hellkite Tyrant, for instance, and I have 20 or more artifacts, so I win the game.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
First of all, can you retell us what the name of your commander is?
It's John Johnson.
No, like the real name, like the other card.
Oh, of the actual commander?
Yeah.
It's Jan Jansen Chaos Crafter.
All right. But it sounds like you run a hefty amount of enchantments in this deck.
I'm running 9.
And that includes Perforos, God of the Forge?
Yes.
Have you thought about running Gen Arcanum Weaver?
Gen Arcanum Weaver.
Let me share the screen. So he's a 3-mana, 2/3 commander, which you can run in the deck. He has he costs Mardu, and you pay Mardu, and you sacrifice an enchantment to search your library for an enchantment card and put it onto the battlefield.
My only problem with running a card like that, which I've actually had conversations with people about upgrading decks and things, is while a card like that would be really good to find something like Revel in Riches, or there is also technically an very, very alternate win condition with Tempered Steel, being able to create 2 3/3s almost every turn.
Right.
since I'm only running 9 enchantments, you aren't you aren't guaranteed to get an enchantment almost every single game. But if you do, that would be able to help you get them. But the enchantments already in the deck, you want to have them out with
Right.
because it either involves creatures entering, exiting, either being a combo piece or just being an enabler to be able to. So like hidden stockpile, for instance, at the beginning of your end step, permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, create a 1/1 servo artifact creature token. Would then stuff like that, and Loyal Apprentice, you're able to every single turn at least have something to sacrifice to be able to keep tapping Jan Jansen, because that's the whole point. You always want to be tapping him on your turn.
Well, here's my reasoning for thinking about that card.
Yep.
You have an enchantment and say it's not Perforos. Well, it could be Perforos if he's a creature. Someone goes to remove said enchantment. You sacrifice the enchantment in response. Target's no longer valid. You get a new enchantment.
True. You can also get some really wacky, as long as if you have 10 or more treasures, you can then be able to sacrifice. You could then be able to sacrifice one of your enchantments to then, like at the end of the player right before you's turn, to be able to get it. Because is it hand or battlefield?
Battlefield.
So yeah, you'd be able to end of their turn, play out Revel in Riches, and then your upkeep, you win the game.
Yeah. Sneaky attack. That's like just a little deck tech. That's just a thought. I'm not telling you how to build your deck.
Yeah.
It just when you was talking about the deck, that inspired me to say, hey, this card actually could possibly be good. I love the guy because I love the enchantments, but I can't afford the kind of deck to build around him because that kind of deck is money.
Hey guys, I'm gonna sign off.
All right, bud.
All right.
Okay.
Right, have a good day.
Talk to you tomorrow. I gotta
See ya.
See ya. See ya, everybody.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
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 Love you, Daddy-Os.
Speaking of money, though, I actually had this really crazy idea that I put on the Discord that I think we should do at some point. It would be called low percent. So the whole point is you have to make a deck that's as cheap as possible. I mean, we are playing with the bare bones, and you try to win with it. I already have my deck thought up because it is absolutely hilarious. But it'd be fun.
There's some power in the cheap cards if you look in the right places. That's why Pauper is a very popular format.
I love Pauper.
Right? All right. We're going to go a little overtime. Richie, you can make a new deck if you want and play tonight. Just let me know on Discord so I can put your name in the roster. Right. So we're kind of crunching on time and we're going to go overtime. I want to finish this segment talking about one of my favorite all-time dorky derpy decks, Rafik of the Mini. Woo! Rafik of the Mini is not only a Voltron card, and I know MV Magic loves some Voltron.
I love Voltron.
Yep. And I love some Voltron. And thinking of running cards that are worth pennies, but in the right deck are powerful, this deck is chock full of penny value cards for Rafik of the Mini. So, Rafik of the Mini costs a generic green, white, blue with a 3/3 legendary creature with Exalted. Exalted says whenever a creature attacks alone, it gets +1/+1. And he also says whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains double strike. How people normally use Rafik, and it bothers me. Play some lands, play some support spells, cast Rafik, attack with Rafik. Commander damage. Yay. That is very bland.
Boring.
Right? Because that's turn 4. You're playing your commander, attacking turn 5. Tort plays commander. Well, Rafik as a commander. Not because he can attack and do commander damage, but no. 80% of the creatures in this deck cost him 1 or 2 mana. Right? Not only that, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those 2-mana creatures have exalted. A 3-drop exalted's in there. I run Sovereign's Lost Allura, which has exalted for an in-game spell in Finest Hour, because that's classic with Rafik. But I also run Exalted Archangel as a late game card, and late game in Rafik is turn 4, turn 5 if it's in my hand. But another nuisance, and people get after me for because they say I'm evil, but these cards are cheap as dirt. Like you're spending $2 at most on one of these cards, and usually these cards are like 50 cents or less. Ichor Clawmer, a 2-mana 1/1 with an infect. Glistener Elf, which is probably the most expensive infect creature in this card, in this deck. Venerated Rot Priest, which has Toxic.
Oh.
Blightsteel Agent, which is an unblockable infect.
Hmm.
And Necropede, right? That's not a lot of creatures compared to a 100 card deck, but that's a good amount that this deck likes to switch in. What kind of value am I going for? Am I going for non-infect win? Going to try and push 40 damage by turn 5, turn 6? Or am I going to try to win by pushing poison counters by turn 5, turn 6? That leads me to another underrated cycle for the beautiful Rafik of the mini deck, right? Well, those 2 cards don't highlight because we're not, but one kind of cycle cards gets overlooked in a lot of decks. I've seen a lot of Rafik of the mini decks, and people try to run the more powerful mid-game cards. But, and every deck runs this card, but not these other cards in my hand. Every card runs a Rancor.
Yes, sir.
Every deck
Copper
runs
All-Star.
Rancor, right? They're like +2/+0 and trample. That's amazing, right?
And it returns if the creature dies. Yes, sir.
Right? Well, I have Eater of Virtue. I'll explain the cards after I go through them. I got Darksteel Axe. I got Bone Splitter
Oh no.
and Vanquisher's Axe. The key thing to know about these is they cost 1 mana to cast. So turn 1, you have a color spell to cast. 1 or 2 to equip. Target creature gets +2/+0. That's all you really care about. They're artifacts. They stay on the board longer. That matters. So you can see if you have a small little creature like a 1 mana Rot Priest that has Toxic 1, or you have Glistener Elf that has poison or infect, you can get to 10 damage easily by turn 4, turn 5, right? And 2 cards I want to highlight that I just love in limited, and it's good in this deck. They do the same thing. They're functional reprints of each other. It's Spectral Fright and One with the Wind. 2 mana, target creature gets +2/+2 and flying. You sense a theme on doubling up +2s on here on these creatures, right? So turn 1, you get an artifact, or maybe you get a creature. And turn 2, you're slamming stuff on it. Maybe turn 2, you're playing the creature. You have an artifact out. They're going to equip turn 3. No matter what, you're starting your game from turn 1. Point is,
No magic should be played,
right? And every turn, unless you keep a bad hand, by the way, there's possibilities of keeping bad hands. Every turn, you're playing something, you're doing something, and you're getting, and your main goal is to get up to 10 points of 10 powered creature. Because by turn 4, you want to cast Rafik, then attack with the creature that can attack when you cast Rafik for double the damage.
So turn 4, you attack with an infect creature with double strike.
Yes.
And as long as it has, 5 power or something.
Mm-hmm. You see it. That's the salty portion of the deck, all right? So one card that I want to highlight that's really good in this deck is Kodama the Westry. He's for the mid game.
Nice.
Yeah. Because modified creatures, when they attack, if they deal combat damage, you get to search your library for a basic land. Mana fixing is pretty powerful. One card that gets a lot of love is All That Glitters.
I love that card.
One card that needs a little more love is Ethereal Armor.
Man, you're talking Pauper All-Stars right now. I
Yeah.
am like, my brain is firing. I'm so happy right now, especially since All That Glitters just got downshifted. Oh,
Right?
because I play Boggles, and I'm soon going to be playing on All That Glitters deck. Ancestral Mask, dude, you were just playing Boggles. Let's go.
Right? Helm of the God,
Oh my God.
which is really good for the enchantment. One underrated card that I don't see in everybody's Rafik deck that should be in Rafik.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's such a good card. Nobody understands.
And so you saw the evil half. Let me show you the second tier of evil, meaning a little less evil. Yeah, I run Geist of Satan Traft because he has hexproof. One card that definitely needs more light, like people should pay attention to this card. It came in and is only in a Warhammer deck, is Venanthrope.
Hey, I'm going to be playing Warhammer tomorrow with Tyranids.
Right?
Let's go.
He's a 3-mana 2/2 with flying, death touch, and hexproof. Hexproof being the key thing. Also run for a 2-drop an Invisible Stalker. You know, hexproof and unblockable. All right, that's the second tier. So you know there's a handful of ready to go creatures. That's why I actually legitimately need to get myself a Slippery Boggles for this deck, so I can add one more creature with hexproof. But don't fret, because there's other creatures in this deck that I want to showcase. I want to showcase the stuff that make me an animal. I want to show a card that doesn't get enough love, that I know a couple of people have been trying to get more love to, is Mask of Avacyn, to give a creature hexproof and +1/+2. Really good for hexproof. 2 mana, 3 to equip. It is worth it, my friends. It is worth it. Then it comes with the boots. Swiftfoot boots. Everybody knows that. One card Rafik decks should run if they want hexproof. Shielding Plaques. If you don't know what Shielding Plaques does, it costs 2 generic, a green and a blue. 1 enters the battlefield, you draw a card, and chat creature basically has hexproof. It's hexproof without saying it's hexproof. This is a little underrated in Rafik deck, by the way. But another card that really needs more shining. I don't see a lot of people playing this, and that's against the people I've actually played with. I didn't go online to see how many decks it's ran in, but I think it's a card worth highlighting because it's still good and aggressive. For hexproof is Canopy Cover. 2 mana. Enchanted creature can't be blocked by creatures with flying or reach. And enchanted creature has hexproof, or hexproof before it was hexproof. You know, the wordy version, the Troll Shroud, people called it. So that is the show. And that's just that portion of the deck. That's a lot of portion of the deck, but you know, that's not going through every card in the deck. But it's enough to show you that the deck makes me an animal because it cares about winning early in that game when possible. And being a Voltron player and being the first deck I ever built, like that, this variation ain't the first deck I built, but Rafik was the first commander I ever built. And I wanted to build a strong Rafik deck, and I was in a meta where people were kicking my butt left and right, and I had to figure a way to do it. And all I had was commons and uncommons, and the deck was not as powerful when I started as it is today. And through luck and opening packs, this deck has evolved. And the reason why I say that, because I got something to shill.
Uh-oh.
So that variation of the deck is a little different from this variation of the deck, because this variation doesn't have a Venerated Rot Priest, but it does have some infect creatures, does have some exalted creatures, and some expensive ones, because this deck's worth almost $200. My 1,000 subscriber giveaway is a Rafik of the Mini Commander deck based as a pre-con.
Right.
So like there's pre-con power. The lands in there, like the lands you want are in there. On top of that, we're doing a fundraiser later this month so we can get a playmat, a channel playmat made, channel sleeves for the deck made. It's in a deck box already. So you're going to have a game night ready to go experience in a box.
You can go ahead and send that to me.
Yeah.
Same.
Yep. And just just kind of let you know, like as pre-conish, like I wanted a deck people can upgrade because people can upgrade their deck and people like to upgrade. So, there's I built it with 3 commanders in mind because there's 3 commanders in the deck. You got Galia, you got Kestia, the cultivator, and you got Rafika the mini. Those 3 commanders in my deck, but I built the deck to kind of circumference the 3 of them together because there's some bestow creatures in there that kind of slow it down. There's some speed in there. There's some infect in there. This deck is ready to be pimped out the way you want to, and it's ready to play. It's ready to play, ready to be upgraded, and I stylized it. People watched me do it. Like, watch me put together the deck. I've showed it off a couple times, and man, people like playing this deck, and it's a Voltron deck. It's pretty much for beginners. 1,000 subscribers, baby. And with that,
let's get there.
And with that, we go to open forum where we can just bullshit and talk about stuff, and Hillbilly doesn't have to feel like he can't contribute.
I'm just listening to all this interesting information.
Oh yeah, there's information like that copy enchantment and Wild Old Drain. That'd be nuts if you pulled another one, but I hope you pull something like money.
Yeah, me too. And I even got some hard cases, magnetic cases.
When did you get those?
Got to Mississippi bought them for me too.
Wow, nice. I just have sleeves, nothing too special. But there's so many cool things. But those shorts can be awesome. I hope you learn how to do it and have fun with it and get it done in time. Don't forget when you make shorts, if you do it off your phone, you'll see a little clock that says 15 seconds. If you touch it, it'll convert to 60 seconds. So you got a minute to go through the pack.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Just letting you know, giving you some friendly advice. But also, there's an app on YouTube you can get on your phone called YouTube Create, I believe. Let me check.
I've yet to make a single YouTube short.
Yeah, it's called YouTube Create, and it lets you record and lets you edit your videos a lot better than what YouTube does. So you you can speed up videos. If you watch my little Rafika the Mini short I made last night, very 2-minute-ish video made into a minute. So I really squeezed in the speed of the video. So it's like me talking really fast and you can barely understand me, but you see the cards so you have more of an idea what's going on. That kind of quick. But it was fun. I was testing things out because YouTube's gave me some search items. They're people are searching this. So make a video about this. I'm like, okay, I'll make a short, test it out. Which only has 28 views on it and 2 dislikes. Which my Commodore Guff has 65 views and 3 likes. But my DIY Clean Sleeves has 153 likes on it. And those 3 shorts I made last night. It's interesting how that works. I one of the videos I did on my own to see how it worked, and it got more views than the 2 suggested by YouTube.
Is it called Power Director Video Editor?
No, it's called YouTube Creator.
Oh, I'll put YouTube Create.
You see that little red thing on the right? You see my screen?
Yeah.
It says YT Create right there.
Okay.
That's the icon for it. Like what you can do is you can actually record videos off your phone, then upload them to it and edit them. Like once you get familiar with the editing, you can edit them, speed it up, or you can add little stickers as the frames. You got to play with it. You got to test it out to get with it. But the program rocks.
All right,
It's like
cool.
Magical Vest's logo right there.
Nice.
That's me.
Make sure you're paying attention.
Yeah, some people don't realize that. Like I literally just ripped this image off the internet, and I was
I
just
know.
like,
I figured you did. That's why I created that the AI art for your premiering on the channel as the special guest. I'm like, I'm just gonna create an AI art so nothing copyrighted can be struck against me if I used it.
yeah. If somebody ever is just like, hey, by the way, like I own this, I have copyright for it, I'll just be like, can I just buy it off you? I use this for like everything.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't care.
Right? I wish there was a name for the thing on top of our head. Then I could probably AI art something better. But the name on the thing on our head is hard to even describe.
Yeah, I have no clue.
I don't think anybody has a clue. I think the creator just went crazy with it. Like the artist went crazy with it. Like we're gonna make this little headdressing that goes down and curls up, and it's like a veil, but it's not. It's a headpiece, but it just kind of sits there. No, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Hey, Billy,
Hmm?
you, what you doing?
I'm looking for that app.
Oh, you know what I can do? Well, it's a phone app.
Yeah.
So let me see. Check it out. Give me a second. Go here. Go here.
Oh well, I ain't gonna worry about it. I'll find it.
Very good. Click on that. Do I get to share it? Share. Here we go. Discord. Hillbilly. Boom. Sent you a link. I sent you a link to it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Didn't know I could do that. It's still in beta, so. But it's awesome. Like it's very simple. Like it doesn't have all the bells and whistles I would like, but I wouldn't know how to use them at the moment. But it has a lot of things like stickers and stuff.
Cool.
Like maybe one day YouTube Create will sponsor me because I've been using it like a madman. And the way it works, you upload your videos, you put them together, you edit it, then it saves it to your phone, then you upload it to YouTube. You want it to be less than a minute because if it's at all over a minute, it will not upload as a short. And yeah, so it's nuts. It's crazy. It's insane, people. Try it out. Well, I want to thank everybody for chilling out with us. It's been a good night, good time, good night. We had a really good conversation. We're going through decks, talking about strategies and insane things. Because MV Magic is broken in the head.
No.
I
won't sit there and play Rakdos and play a Demon Eldrazi Tribal. I would never.
Right? All right. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for chilling along with us. Stay awesome. Stay amazing. Be cool. Check out carnsartopia.com. And until next time, my friends, play wise.
Shockwave! What is your command, Megatron?
Subscribe for Magic the Gathering and other content.